Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another Living World of Darkness range across the Amazon. In this scene, Alonna, having just slipped over from the Tellurian, frustrated and upset with her sept members. Disrespect being shown blatantly. She's heads off near the edge of the bone, talking with spirits, Shadow, making her nightshade tailored for the evening as she offers her gnosis and thanks the spirit, encapsulating it, putting it into her satchel with the myriad of other talents she has. She then takes a minute trying to calm herself. She sits there quietly in these shadowed areas, not stealthed, but trying to meditate, to center herself, to calm herself.
And as she's doing that, Saoirse slips into the Umbra, also frustrated. Knowing that this is probably where Alonna went, she begins to look for her. She's in lupus, so she is a bright orangey red wolf lumbering across the area, sniffing out Alonna.
Perception survival to track her. I think it'd be perception survival to track her.
Okay.
Thanks for difficulty.
Perception and survival. I have 3 mighty dice for this. Oh, plus, right. 6 mighty dice. And I fail on a diff 3.
Well, you're definitely lumbering around. Yes.
Yeah, so if you want to make a perception roll, she's not being quiet or anything about it, so that you can spot her. She's just kind of aimlessly sniffing around.
Hearing all this sniffing, this constant sniffing, she eventually opens her eyes from her meditation, looks around and sees this orange wolf. Like, maybe she's trying to follow a trail, maybe she's not. Who's really certain? Are you looking for somebody lost?
She looks up. Hey, I'm looking for you.
Well, here I am. You found me.
She walks up to her. She kind of cranes her neck out to expose her throat.
Just gives a nod.
And she resumes normal position. Can we talk?
Hey, what do you need to talk about?
Everything. I've been here 2 days, and everything's so different here. I'm like a fish out of water.
I can get that.
Just the way that some people are allowed to act. I can't believe it. That would never happen back home.
One thing I'm reminded often, we're not back home.
I know that, but I was taught that the nation is relatively the same everywhere. Some places are a bit more liberal, but I didn't realize it was this.
I don't know what it is with her. Her whole class of clubs, they all seem to protect her. She's a runt of the litter, but being a runt doesn't matter in the nation. So what if she's small just means she can sneak in some places.
The coddling that I see, it does no one any favors. She's not going to get stronger by being coddled.
Aye, that she's not. That she's not.
And from what I heard about what happened yesterday, I guess after you and I went off, uh, Aiden and Talote were by themselves, and Aiden wanted Talote to leave her alone, and she wouldn't. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Talote ended up frenzying. And from what Aiden said, she nearly killed Public Enemy. And then others came, and he said that it was like they were all taking her side, even though she was the one that frenzied. He said he never frenzied, and he said he didn't do anything to provoke her, just was trying to get her to leave him alone. But they took that as provocation. I don't know. And then he said he was pinned down, beaten up, and he still has to apologize in the form of a right, I think.
Right, a contrition.
I that it's like he said he said he felt like he had no place. And here he is, a Cleoth, being disrespected and punished because he was trying to get a Metis cub to leave him alone.
I don't know what they've taught her. I swear. You know, for a long time I thought it was bad what all they do back home, but at least we know how to behave like proper civilized adults. Here they're acting like children. I'm about ready to just drag her across my lap and beat her like a disrespectful child she is.
I I know I just got here, but already I see that she's a problem, and I don't understand why others are allowing her to behave that way. She puts the Sept at risk. She could.
I like she did today with that creature.
She'll nod.
You can see the frustration on her face when she even mentioned that, because nobody seems to care.
And she never did acknowledge me back there. So I just glared at her and left, came looking for you.
That disrespect is now on. Speaks in silence. I've told him as much.
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that Aiden's here and you're here. Some familiarity, but this was not what I expected. I mean, wasn't exactly sure what to expect coming here, but I didn't expect everything to be so backwards.
Aye, 'tis a bit boss awkward, isn't it?
Aye, it's not the nation I was raised to see, to believe. This is something else, and I'm having a real hard time understanding.
Well, if you ever do understand it, let me know. I know they're very liberal, my alpha included. But there comes a point when you just have to put your foot down and, teach people how to behave like bloody adults, not acting like errant children that are free to just run amok, you know?
Like, okay, so Aiden went off on someone in Hamid when he was a cub, and he was delayed his rite of passage for a year because of it. And he only lost his temper because they insulted him about his sister. So, Tolote frenzies on someone in Krynos, even if her Krynos form is smaller. She nearly kills someone, and that's just fine and dandy okay, from what I understand.
Yeah, I've talked to Olaf the Den Father, and he knows very well what she's been doing. And I'm waiting for him to hopefully do what he's supposed to with her, which is teach her a proper lesson. If not, he knows that next time she pulls anything, she will be getting a lesson from me.
Teaching her a proper lesson. Should be left out by herself for a week. If she finds her way back, then she gets to stay.
Nay, a proper lesson. Learning that this isn't about her, about what she wants. It's about the fact that she has to work with others. Cutting off her may have to end up taking more than just the hand or paw. May have to take from the elbow. Let her work without it for a week or two. Let her learn to understand that we're all in this together and it's not about her.
Aye, it's not. It's not about any of us, really. It's about Gaia. It's about protecting her. It's about fighting the worm. It's about saving us. When numbers are down, have been for a long time. All this fighting and pettiness, it does us no good at all.
Her attacking her own people, Geru of Gaia, that makes her no better than a threat of the worm at this point to me.
I would tend to agree with you. But anyway, about what we saw today over there and whatever that was. I'm not sure if that was proper realm or what, if it was just what that thing wanted it to be, but it's like because of the jumbling of different things that we saw from different time periods, I'd almost venture to say that whatever it is created it, maybe took elements of what it liked through time and put it all there.
That's definitely possible. I don't know the full extent of that creature, or even exactly what that creature truly is.
I don't either, but I don't trust it. And if it really is predates the trait, then I don't know how we're going to deal with it. I do think that we need to go and find the other stones.
That will definitely assist in what we're doing. Although that might bring more of his attention to the sept faster. That's the only downside. I know we have to be prepared for war. Garrett's right about that. They're going to be coming for him, for the stone.
Aye, is there somewhere off Sept we can keep the stones? that's still protected.
They'll be coming for the stones wherever we put them. He's probably connected to them, probably can sense something about them, but not much about their exact location.
Aye, but I mean, so we're not putting the sept at risk by keeping all the stones here.
They're not currently on sept proper. They're not even on the bottom.
I know, but I mean, if we go looking for them, and we're going to want to keep them together, aren't we?
I don't know if we need to destroy them or put them back in place to seal them away. Honestly,
Well, the thing is that if we put them back, when they're in place, at least it takes your gnosis. So I don't know if, as soon as you put it in the holder, if it's going to take your gnosis.
she nods. Well, it doesn't matter whether it takes it or not. If it seals it away, losing it temporarily is a worthy cost.
Aye, that's true. But that means we need 9 different people putting them back because, well, I don't know if you can. I don't know what it would do if you didn't have any gnosis and you were touching it while it's in the holder. I wouldn't want to risk harm to anyone, so we would probably need different people putting them back in.
That's if putting them back in seals it away and not releases them fully.
We don't know because we do know because we saw gnosis gives him power. So if we have 9 people's gnosis given to him, I don't know what that would do.
Aye, that's why I think he's more akin to a spirit than like a man or something.
Probably beyond spirit, beyond. It's still, if it's as powerful as it says, and it's before the trait, older than spirits, it could have been the origination of that stuff, of the spirits, of the trait.
And
And
that's
that's
why
why it still uses gnosis and why it feels like a cairn.
she seems to be contemplating, mulling over the thoughts, the ideas of that. Most of the spirits are created by the three. It could be a powerful spirit predating them, but that would put it in league with the Celestine themselves or above. Part of me is almost thinking we might have to summon something well beyond our ken to have even a chance to defeat him.
You said something about the Mokole. I don't know much about them.
They're another shifter of the one of the fair. They tend to come in reptilian shape.
She nods. Aye. All right.
Around here, they're predominantly crocodiles and dinosaurs. And dragons.
Dragons, eh?
Oh, aye, they're breathing fire and whole 9 yards.
Wow. Oh, that's a something. Aren't. How old is the line?
I don't know.
Alright then.
They've been here as long as anybody can remember. So I'd say they're pretty old.
Well, maybe someone in their ancestry has faced something like this before, or maybe even this very thing. Perhaps if they have, I'm sure that they do have galliards of some sort that would be able to tell us.
Aye, that's the general idea. That's why I recommended we go and speak with them about it.
Would it be alright if I go with you?
As long as you know how to hide in the shadows, I don't see why it'd be a problem.
I'm alright at it. Probably not as good as you, but I'm alright.
Well, if you're as good as me, I'd be downright surprised.
I suppose that's true.
You and Aiden, you didn't even notice a massive hawking wolf walk right up and all but touch you from behind yesterday.
I know, and I have really good hearing. And I didn't, and really good vision too, and didn't even detect you, which means you're really good at what you do. You serve Anaconda, yeah?
Hey? Well,
Well,
that'll
that
do.
helps.
Oh, aye, lass. Helps quite a bit. Praise on Anaconda. She has done well for us here, and we in return have done well for her.
She'll smile. That's good. I'm gonna need a pack soon.
Don't blame you. It's a good thing to have. I know the Shadowrunners are looking for folk. That's Public Enemy. I know my pack, last I heard, was looking for a Galliard. We have a Ragabash.
She perks up a little bit when you mentioned that your pack needs a Galliard.
The Striders of Ice and Concrete probably could use a Ragabash. They haven't got much of that. Theirs recently died.
Sorry to hear that.
Killed by leeches just before we left, so didn't even get a chance to investigate his death.
I'm really sorry about that. Leeches, eh? Ugh.
Aye. He was the alpha of their pack as well.
Oh, that's rough. That's really rough. I never joined a pack in Tara because I knew that I was going to be leaving. Didn't want to join a pack and then leave.
That makes sense. Aye.
But I definitely need one. I know how important they are, and I don't really like being alone too much.
After a while, you kind of value your alone time on occasion, because once you actually get into a park and start giving some of yourself to your park's totem, you become really connected to your park. Like, you're literally inside each other's minds.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I've heard about that before. That's can be a lot, I guess. You can decide what they hear and what they don't, though, right?
Aye, when you know what you're doing. That first few days or so, though, You said a lot of things you don't mean to. This is my mighty manipulation subterfuge.
Yeah.
Peony.
Yeah, I'm definitely peonying that. There's a +2 in lupus, right?
It's a -2 difficulty.
Oh, whoops, I'll re-roll then. One success.
I beat.
So yeah, you actually beat me.
Alonna seems like she's very sincere in what she says.
Yeah, she's not gonna pry or anything, but so you got any questions for me?
Alas, why are you really here?
Because I got tired of waiting for you to get back to New York. You said it would be a month. I've been down here for 2 or more. So I had my stuff shipped over to my aunt and uncle. Brought Aiden here. Thought it'd be good for him. Didn't realize that. Anyway, so we came here to help. Came here to see you. I came here to see you anyway.
And she's scrutinizing you, looking to see if there's more behind that or not. Is there more to it than that? Or are you going to try and hide it?
Well, she's being genuine that she wanted to see you, but there you get the feeling that there might be a little bit more to it than that.
Come on, Loss. Spit it out.
Spit what out?
The rest of it, you're Homid, you're Fiona. You don't just come here because the dirty is tired of waiting.
She furrows her brow. You're not a dirty mess. You're fostering of the nation. You're more than a mess now. I'm proud of you.
So what is it you want then?
I want to get to know you. We were denied so much when we were kids. We interacted some, but you were so busy. And then after I changed, I was busy. Exchanging letters, was a start, but I've always viewed you as family, no matter what. I had to ignore you because I had to. I had to do what they said. And while I do view a lot of Metis the way that our tribe does, it's because of their own merits, not because of what they are. It's because of who they are. Some of them don't want to rise above. Some of them want to act like that little fish. You are different. You chose not to let Metis define you. And that I admire.
That was Alana trying to hide her, like, being totally shocked at what you were saying. You see a look of shock on her face at some of what you've been saying.
What are you shocked about?
This little, I don't know what to call it. This little confession of yours.
Confession? Yeah, maybe. Maybe a little bit. We're not on Tara anymore. So I can be a bit more open with my interactions with you. I was highly scrutinized on Tara. Everything I did was watched.
Well, your mom was a frail adult.
Aye, and I was born a Galliard. High expectations and all.
Alana just kind of nods.
And from what I've seen already, you've come leaps and bounds from where you were when you left. Getting away from Tara was probably a very good thing for you. But even when we were there, you were still well above those of your station, those of your breed. You're one of the. I haven't lived a very long life, but I've heard a lot of stories. And you're one of the best in a long time of metas that have come out of Fiona.
She looks like she's sitting up taller, kind of like her head looks a little held a little higher, like she's proud to hear this.
She can't tell anyone I told you that. She winks.
Oh no, never! You can never tell myths that they've done well or anything. That's not how this works.
No, no, it isn't. She's she smiles. Uh, no teeth, but she smiles.
Alana tongue lolls, her huge hispo tongue hanging out of her mouth.
She does what?
The tongue roll where it's like hanging out the side of your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, Saoirse just kind of like, curled her lips up into this sort of makeshift smile and lupus, like without any teeth. Yeah, it's probably quite a sight to see. But
With the lupus, you'll find the little tongue lolling out like this. That's a good way to show happiness.
I know. She'll also kind of let her tongue hang out a little bit.
There you go. Now you're getting in touch with your inner wolf. Feel that wolf.
So, anyway, I know that my upbringing, I have a lot of biases, but I've always had mind of my own, and that was one reason why I was watched so much. I did what I was told, but as I said, there are some, and I've already seen, I can understand why our tribe treats some Metis the way they do.
Sadly, they treat all metas the same way because they assume that they're going to be the lowest point, like the ones that are bad, and never give the others the chance to be more than that.
I know, and it's sad. It really is. There, I wish that they did things differently. There's gotta be a better way, but as I said, you rose above that. With the way that you were treated, you could have easily ended up like Talote.
If I was anything like that disrespectful little cur, I'd be dead. You know it.
Aye, aye, you wouldn't have been allowed to live that long. But Metis or not, she needs to be taught her place.
I'm assuming that Olafrey is gonna deal with her as is his duty as both the Philodox and the Den Father.
I hope so. Hopefully I'll get a chance to properly introduce myself to him. Didn't really get the chance to earlier.
Oh, don't worry, if you're hanging around me, you'll get more than enough chances to.
I'd really like to hang around you if that's okay.
She has a contemplative look on her face for a moment. Her eyes narrow as she inspects you, thinking momentarily.
Saoirse will actually kind of lay down and put her head in between her paws and give you a very pleading look.
Oh, now see, that's just adorable. I don't know if I can say no to a face like that. Let me try. No. No.
Oh,
Bad puppy.
she whines.
Oh, Fro, that's totally fine. You can hang out with me.
She springs up to her feet and licks Alana's face.
I hope you don't mind spending a lot of time whittling wood, molten metal, and tending to the wounded. Because that's what I tend to do most days.
I have no problem with that. I need to learn some of that stuff anyway. Hadn't got to learn too much. Because, you know, a lot of studying that I had to do. Not only with school, but also on Sept. Now that I am out experiencing the world, I can kind of do what I want. Learn what other people do, tell their stories.
Alright, important question. Do you at least know basic first aid?
Aye, that I do.
Wonderful. Do you know how to do stitches or on-site tracheotomy?
That'll be a no. Stitches I might be able to do with some instruction, but a tracheotomy is pretty much out of my area of expertise. You would have to show me.
They really thought they have to do. You have to take a knife, and as she's talking, she shifts into a Hamid, and she lifts her neck. You got to cut right here, right across the trachea, and then you pray it open and shove a tube down there to make sure that it stays open so they can breathe. You have to make sure you get right below where the Adam's apple is, though, or where the Adam's apple would be on the person, so you're below the vocal cords, so that they can't close up and prevent you from getting the air out.
She's taking all of this in. Eidetic memory, she'll be able to remember this exactly word for word.
As far as stitches, well, I can show you a few ways to practice the skin of certain fruits works. Tomato, such like that. The thinner ones that can tear easily. And then pig skin will work as well. It's close to human skin as well. And you can practice on those. Remember, you're focusing initially on X patterns so that you can cinch the skin back together. The smaller they are. And you want to work from an end across. Otherwise, you'll have weird gaps and bunchings.
She nods. I will. Let's see what I can get a hold of to practice. Imagine it might be a bit easier once we get back to New York.
Oh, probably. Or I can just sit and cut myself, let you stitch it up repeatedly.
Well, I mean, you will heal from it, but I don't know that that's really necessary.
Well, you see, the best part is you'll have to learn to do it quickly, otherwise it'll be healed before you get done.
That's true. Maybe I can use fruit or hide to work on my accuracy, and then I can do you to work on my speed.
Aye, that sounds like a mostly agreeable thing. I hate just cutting myself open though. Perhaps every time I do it, use some of the blood for chiminage.
That would work. That's another thing, you being a theurge. I want if you're willing to, I'd like you to teach me a bit about spirits. I don't really know much.
Okay, spirits, that's a lot of information. Pick an area.
It doesn't have to be done tonight, just over time, if you would.
Well, if you're hanging around me, I'm certainly gonna start picking stuff up. So I suppose I can start teaching you stuff.
They seem to have an affinity for water spirits, or they have affinity for me. Heritage of some sort. Might run in the family.
Aye, that's possible.
Will you remember my change, don't you?
Aye, found you in an Umbra lake.
I didn't start out there. I was in the Telluriad for the most part. But then I ended up in the Umbra. Which is weird.
Aye, I remember. I remember going back to that lake and having to fish out the bodies as well.
I'm sorry.
For what?
For you having to clean up my mess.
I like to think of it this way. Well, yes, I had to clean up your mess. There were those before me who had to clean up my mess, and those before them who had to clean up their mess. In the future, you'll have to clean up the mess of those after you. So I think it's sort of that whole paying it forward thing.
Aye, that's a good way of looking at it. Then I'm not sorry.
You did exactly as was necessary of you.
Aye,
Sadly, it tends to result in murder and death.
they were polluting the lake.
And if you'd been any other 17, 18-year-old child, you know, you'd have been like, oh, hey, can I have a beer too?
Aye, you're probably right. I probably would have joined him. But was no ordinary teenager, obviously.
When you've been out there fornicating in the water with,
She raises her wolfy eyebrows.
almost as much as you fornicate with all the kinfolk.
She rolls her eyes.
So how many dozens of mates have you had so far?
Uh, no mates per se. I managed to experiment with a couple of people in college. They weren't actually kinfolk. Uh, it's, I don't know. It's not really something that's for me, I guess. It's just, I don't know. Maybe once I find the right person, it'll be there for me, but it's not a pertinent interest of mine.
Wait, you say you tried with several people? Does that mean it wasn't just men?
Aye,
So you've lain with women then?
aye.
So what you think of folk that lay with women?
I really don't see an issue. Uh, I mean, if you're gonna breed, if you're for that purpose, of course, then you know, men should lie with women and women should lie with man. But that was one thing that I wasn't really too worried about. Uh, Seems Scarer Society is a bit backwards with that. They don't seem to care as long as at some point you produce babies.
But if you
But
can't,
if you can't, then what does it matter?
fair enough, I suppose.
I see no issue. Though I do have some conservative views. I do notice the real world on occasion. This is 2017. I don't have an issue with people who lie with the same sex. I've done it myself. It was alright. Like I said, I wasn't really interested one way or another.
Well, perhaps you're one of them asexual folk,
Maybe.
or perhaps you're, what's that newfangled term? Sapiosexual. They didn't sexually stimulate your brain.
She contemplates that for a moment. Perhaps. Maybe if I met someone that has the same interests as me, we have the same views on things, someone that wants to have a conversation rather than jumping in my pants right away, that might make a difference.
So do you like reading?
Aye, I do.
And plants.
Aye.
I may know someone.
Oh,
They're back in New York though right now.
alright. She's now giving you a very skeptical look.
She wasn't with anybody when I was there last, but it's been 2 months. That could totally have changed since then. I'll have to find out before I try and hook you up with them.
Right. Well, right now, I'm not looking for that kind of relationship. I want to get my feet wet, so to speak, in Gower matters and for get in a pack, form those bonds first. Then maybe I might consider finding a mate of some sort. And I know I don't want to have babies anytime soon, if ever. But don't let everybody hear me say that, right? Have to be careful who I say that to.
I say not a word of it to anyone.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I know that we're a dying breed, dying race, but I don't know that I won't bring others into this world.
Let me offer you one last tidbit of wisdom from my ye old aged ways.
Alright, let's hear it.
Not bringing a child into this ensures our loss.
Huffs. Fine, but want a few years before that happens.
Deal?
Maybe, if it's just for breeding purposes, I might go find a wolf.
Whatever makes you happy, lass. That's what matters.
I think it would be interesting. Especially if I do end up loving someone of the same sex. It would be a great way for us to get a baby. Just go have sex with a wolf.
Aye, would definitely be interesting. Hmm. I have to talk to her about them in a call this week.
Anyway, enough about that. Don't you have a someone?
Whatever do you mean? Oh, come on
Oh,
now.
come on now. Don't play dumb. You told me on the phone. Do you have someone you're seeing in New York?
Yes, I have someone I'm fancying.
Well, she looks very expectant for more information.
What haven't I told you about?
Well, you haven't given me too many details. I do believe I would remember you telling me that they were a woman, though. Or maybe I just guessed that from the questions you were asking.
Oops, that's the only one. That's her subterfuge and manipulation, mostly all manipulation.
Nope.
There seems to be a bashfulness about her when you say that.
Is she still in Hamid?
Oh yeah, so there's also a blushing that's occurring with that.
Saoirse moves into a sitting position, tongue hanging out. What's wrong, lass?
I
I
I may be seeing a woman, and that's about it.
No, it's not. It's written all over your face. Are you in love?
I don't know what love is.
A little bit of side eye.
I never had it growing up. How can I be certain that I feel it now?
I suppose. Saoirse will relax into Hamid. She'll put a hand on your shoulder. Well, I hope that she makes you happy.
And a smile spreads across her face. A very deep, warm smile. Aye, she does.
Well then, we need to take care of this problem so you can get back to her.
I'm working on it.
And Saoirse will give Alonna sort of. She's gonna give her a hug, but it's a little bit awkward.
Alana stands there kind of awkwardly, like, what's she? Why is she's hugging me? Okay. And then her arms, after a moment, like, kind of wrap around Saoirse and give very light hugging pats on her. How tall is Alana? 5'8".
Okay, yeah, Saoirse's 5 inches shorter than you, so her head's probably like in your chest. But yeah, the hug doesn't last very long. Saoirse then, after you give her the pats or whatever, she steps back, looks at you. Sorry?
She looks in shock.
Did I do something wrong?
I can't say it was wrong, but it was unexpected.
Right. I'm sorry. Just happy for you is all.
And why are you sorry?
I don't know.
Well, then, if you don't know what you're sorry for, then you don't have a reason to be sorry.
I guess for giving you a hug.
And she looks at you with a, why would you be sorry for that kind of look?
Because of the way that it was received, it wasn't quite sure if it was welcomed or not.
I never expected a Fiona Homan to hug me, so I was a little taken aback.
Well, I promise not to do it in public.
I don't care if you do it to me. I'm just worried about what people will say about you.
She kind of furrows her brow a little bit. I don't care. I'm not a tar anymore. You've proven yourself. You're fostering. You deserve a hug.
Alright then. And she wraps her arms around you and gives you a real hug this time.
Saoirse will welcome that. She's much more relaxed for this one, not quite as, stiff and uneasy about it. She wraps her arms around you and gives you a tight squeeze. All right then. It's good to see you. Looking forward to our adventures together.
Oh, the adventures we'll be having. You have no idea what New York's like.
No, I don't. But maybe you can prepare me a little bit.
I can give you a great way to imagine it. So imagine Terra is like your baseline for like mix between Weaver and Wild, right?
Aye.
And the Amazon is like Wild to the extreme. New York is the opposite direction.
Lots of Weaver then.
You have a little sliver of nature amidst this mass of buildings everywhere.
Oh no. I'm not sure I've ever been somewhere like that for a long period of time. Like, even the cities in Ireland are not like that.
Nay, they're not.
Alright, it's going to be an adjustment, especially after being here.
Might be a bit of a culture shock almost. Eh? It'll be grand.
I'm having a culture shock all the way around. I mean,
I'll be ready for a second one.
I will. And I think with these two talking, they'll eventually head back to their respective sleeping areas for the night, and we can end our scene there. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Good night.